The next news is from the U.S. again, from Indiana, where Dr. Don Boys, a former Indiana legislator and BardWire contributor, wrote recently that Brett Kavanaugh was innocent of the sexual assault of Dr. Christine Blasey Ford because she never screamed about it. According to Deuteronomy 22:23 through 24, rape is having sex with a woman while she screams for help, according to Dr. Don Boys.
So if you don't scream, it's not rape?
According to Deuteronomy, it says that that if a woman is raped in town and she does not call for help, then it's not considered rape. But you would think that somebody, especially a Christian, would read a little bit further in their Bible. So I'm going to go ahead and do Dr. Don Boys a favor and read a couple verses farther into Deuteronomy. Wait, if you don't mind.
Before you do that, can you read actually the verses that he's referring to?
Oh yeah. Let me pull that one up.
I'm saying, if a man happens to meet in a town a virgin pledged to be married, and he sleeps with her, you shall take both of them. Well, it doesn't say anything about screaming.
Yes. Keep reading.
Okay, you shall take both of them to the gate of that town and stone them to death. The young woman, because she was in a town and did not scream for help, and the man, because he violated another man's wife. You must purge the evil from among you.
Yes.
Okay, so wait, I didn't know about this verse. Holy shit! I read the Bible. I don't remember this one.
So Dr. Don Boys is saying that she never screamed about it, so Brett Kavanaugh is innocent of sexual assault.
So wait, even before you go to the next verse, if he wants to abide by these verses, so does he think that that if a woman doesn't scream, they should be stoned to death? Because that's what this verse is saying. So, like, is he agreeing with the whole verse?
Like, I mean, obviously, yeah.
Oh my God! All right.
Yeah, but if you look in that first verse in Deuteronomy 22:23, it says a betrothed virgin. So somebody's fiance that has not yet had sex. She might not have had sex yet at 15 years old when the alleged sexual assault took place, but I can guarantee you that she was not engaged. But in Deuteronomy 22:28, it does say what happens to a man who rapes a woman who is not pledged to be married. Deuteronomy 22:28. If a man happens to meet a virgin who is not pledged to be married and rapes her, and they are discovered, he shall pay her father 50 shekels of silver. He must marry the young woman, for he has violated her. He can never divorce her for as long as he lives.
All right, so let me get this straight. So if you rape somebody that is someone else's fiance and she's a virgin, right, and she doesn't scream, both of you will get stoned to death, right?
Yes, that is correct. The woman for not screaming for help, and the man for raping another man's fiance. Not because she was a woman would he get stoned, but he would get stoned because she was already another man's property.
Right. She was another man's property. So if a woman think like, okay, if I scream, this guy might like kill me or like hit me or something. So I'm just going to take this and then go report it after because I don't want to die, right? So no, that's not acceptable. You have to scream. And then, but if you rape somebody that is not someone else's property, it's not someone else's fiance, then not only you don't get killed for it, you actually can buy her out.
Yes, that is correct. You have to buy her because she is currently she is currently her father's property because she is not engaged to another man yet. So he has to buy her from the father.
Yeah, like it's basically you break it, you buy it.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it's like a used it's like used property. Now you have to pay for it and take ownership for it. Now.
Right, but we're talking about 50 shekels here. That's about 1 1/4 pound of silver. That's a good chunk of money back then.
Yeah. So basically, the message here is that if this is like a recipe for incels. If you can't find a woman, just like if the Bible applied, all you had to do is just go rape somebody, and now the law is that you have to take care and pay. Imagine the woman now that she has to live with the person that raped her for the rest of her life, right?
Right.
Let me just fucking hell. Who is this guy? Like, how is this guy? Is he famous, or does he have a big following or something?
He's a former Indiana legislator. He has a pretty big following in a blog that he writes for. He currently writes articles for this blog called BardWire. He's no longer in legislation in government.
Oh my goodness, this is fucking insane. So Adam is saying, what were our ancestors thinking when they wrote these damn verses? I wonder if any of them questioned the things they wrote down. I mean, the problem is that these things were common back then everywhere. The problem with religion is that it brings the standards of those times and brings it to the modern world, right? So it just makes them sticky.
It stops progression.
Yeah, it stops progression. And not that it was okay back then. It was as horrific back then as it is now. But unfortunately, back then, these things were normal. I mean, women were property back then. Marissa in the Facebook top comment is saying, if I punch him really, really hard in the balls with duct tape over his mouth... Is it okay? Let me read this again. If I punch him really, really hard in the balls with duct tape over his mouth, is it assault? If I can't hear him scream, well, no, unfortunately, there's not a Bible verse for that, so you're out of luck.
But I'm pretty sure that since it's a female punching a male in the balls, they'd probably take her out and stone her. Yeah,
unfortunately. Sorry, Marissa. The Bible is not very female-friendly. Lily is saying atheists don't have morals, in quotation marks, like she's saying, like when other people say that, and she's saying, yeah, totally, like this is what Christian values are. Jackie's saying, gag him and throw him in jail when the inmates start. I'm hoping these are jokes. When the inmates start taking turns and he can't scream, we'll still consider that not rape. Well, again, unfortunately, the Bible does have different standards for men compared to women. So a lot of people are trying to say, like, let's do the same thing with him, but he doesn't think that this applies to him because he's a man. Let me see if there's any comments on YouTube. Soraya saying, I believe this person should be locked in the prison with the gay rapists. Then we'll see if will scream for help. Well, I'm hoping you guys don't actually mean that, because I mean these things don't get solved. Like this eye for an eye is also a Bible thing, right? And it doesn't solve anything, right? And this guy's an idiot, obviously. And we should I think the solution is what we're doing right now, to point and mention how ridiculous and absurd these things are, right?
Atheist Republic's mission is to give atheists around the world a louder voice. In order for us to be able to continue the Atheist Republic, we need your help. If we reach 100 patrons, we'll finally be able to afford all our costs. Help us get there.